So to begin with, let's take a look at how we can help you reduce that mean time to resolution. So this is all about incident management integration. And the way that this works, as we'll see when we look at a live demo in a moment, Nexthink provides real-time visibility of the health of the user's device directly inside ServiceNow. So as a ticket, a call is coming into the service desk, we select the user, select their device, which may be an automatic link if the user is constantly using the same device. And we'll show you how we can give you, your support teams, that visibility of the device that they're using and highlight any issues that may be relevant to the call that the user is putting in. What does that help you achieve? Well, we've seen with our customers reductions of mean time to resolution of between 15 to 25% on average. As one example, we have an NHS organisation who one of their common calls into the service desk was around Outlook corruptions. And the time taken was around about half an hour to firstly understand the issue, and then secondly, remote onto the machine, rebuild the user's profile, and get that user able to work with Outlook again. Using Nexthink integrated with ServiceNow, that has now been automated to just a couple of minutes. And you can make significant differences dependent on the types of issues that your users may be occurring. So we give you that visibility of device status. We also give you the ability to just fire a very quick link, automate common resolution tasks. We had one customer that told us having this visibility, this information at our fingertips is changing the conversation with our users and as a result, changing the perception of IT with the employee base. And that's just some of the benefits that you get from the incident management integration. So at this point, Rod, could you take us through the incident management integration and show us how that looks?
So so what I'm going to do now is, go and have a look at the, say how this integration actually works with ServiceNow. In terms of what we're looking at now, ServiceNow, this is the New York release of ServiceNow. It's got a bit of Nexthink branding on it, which is a pretty straightforward thing to do. Well, I'm sure all you know how to do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to see just how this incident enrichment process actually works from the ServiceNow perspective. So, the fairly standard sort of ServiceNow incident form. I'm going to pick this chap called George Daniels, who's having a problem with his PC's performance. I can then go and pick the configuration item we're interested in, which is a PC which is assigned to him. So I'm going to say assign that as his configuration item. Literally, as soon as we've done that, we see the various information come up here that's pertinent to that particular configuration item. Then what I can do is just give this a reason for opening this incident. So I can say PC is running slow. And then if we scroll down a little bit down the page, what we can then do is we can see that we've had a number of different tabs which have automatically popped up into this incident. Now what's happening here in the background, as soon as I put that configuration item actually into this incident, ServiceNow is talking to Nexthink and is actually pulling this information back into this ServiceNow incident in real time. So let's have a look at this type of information that's available. So first of all, what we're doing is we're pulling out a load of background information about the actual device itself. And so again, this is out of the box integration. Again, we can pull back more information, we can pull back less information, but fundamentally this is very much the out of the box that we're looking at now. So we can see here some information about the actual device itself. If we scroll through these tabs, we can then see what the relative state of this actual configuration item is, this PC he's working on. And we can see down here that in terms of a hardware refresh, everything's looking all right, but it looks like we've got one or two maybe issues starting to creep in here. We've got some high CPU utilization, and we've got some high memory scores. If we scroll again through the next tab, we can see something called their digital experience score. Now, we're going to have a look at this in a little bit more detail later on, but again, it's pointing to the fact that there's potentially an issue with there's an issue with this actual PC he's working on. If we look at the next tab, we can see what business applications that George has been working on. This time, it's Skype for Business, and if we look at their Skype for Business usage, we can see they've been having some problems with this too. So it's not purely about the actual PC they've been working on. It can also be what business applications they've been accessing and what the performance has been like of those business applications too. The one that's really important though is this final one. It's called our L1 checklist. And what that's doing is actually pulling back a load of relevant information to the analyst about exactly what's going on that machine. So typically what happens is somebody phones up the service desk and say, my PC is running slow. There then has this conversation that goes on between the analyst and the person at the other end of the phone trying to do a triaging about exactly what's causing the issue. Now, let's face it, most people in business who are using a PC probably aren't an IT expert. Even for some of us IT experts ourselves some of the time. So what chance does the standard user have in terms of expressing exactly what's wrong with their PC? And so very typically, there's a load of questions the analyst has to go through to actually try and ascertain even the remotest idea of what might be causing this PC to run slow. But we can see straight away in here, we've populated this incident, and we can see we've got high CPU utilization, we've got high memory utilization, we can see they're not using the standard corporate browser, and we can see they've been having various problems with the application Outlook. Furthermore, over on the right-hand side, we can see we've got some automated responses to this. And so NextThink has a catalog of predefined out-of-the-box automations that literally is available to the analyst then to go and click on to go and debug this. Now, actually what it's doing in the background, it's running a piece of PowerShell on the end user device and making things happen. And so again, if you have your own PowerShell skills, you can write anything you want. But again, we provide a large catalog of these already predefined for you. And you can see down here, it might be just triggering a reboot, it might be doing a disk cleanup, or it might be collecting some more detailed information around the BIOS of the of that end user device. The great thing we're doing here, though, is we're greatly shortening the triage time of this incident. So NextThink was deployed to a major Dutch bank recently, and they reduced their average incident handling time from 15 minutes down to 3 minutes by using this type of technology. So there's some significant benefit to be achieved by using this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to duck into NextThink and have a quick look at NextThink. Now, NextThink has got two user interfaces. It has a portal, which I'm going to come on to show you a little bit later, which has got some nice reporting and dashboards. It also has something called the Finder, which is very much more the technical view, very much for the technicians inside your organization, very much to analyze and drill down into specific areas of detail to understand things at a very granular level. And so that configuration item that I was interested in there, it was CHDB207. So if I just do a quick search on that particular configuration item in our Finder, we can see it's found the device. And then what I can do, I can drill down and actually investigate what's actually going on in that individual device. So the first screen we come to, this is called our timeline view, and is really a historical view of everything that's happened on that individual device over the recent past. And we can see here, we're roughly broken this down into a 3-hour view, and I'm going to come back to look at this in a bit more detail in a second. We can see we've also pulled back a load of information from that end user device, a load of detail in here, about CPU, about, what the processes it's running. Again, lots of pretty granular level of detail, exactly what, a technical analyst needs in order to do the triaging on this individual machine. We can then also see we've got a number of what we call scores, which are literally groups of metric that we can actually score this end user device by. So we can see what we call the digital experience score down here. We can see a productivity view, we can see a security view, and more importantly, we can scroll across here and we can see things. We can see our L1 checklist across here too as well. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at this timeline view, and I want to understand why this high CPU utilization is actually happening. And so the first thing I'm going to do across here is I'm going to reduce this view to being a daily view. Now I'm going to scroll back in time to actually ascertain exactly where that's been happening. And what we can see down here is this high CPU utilization actually appeared at this individual point in time. And what I can then do is I can then look across everything that's happened on that machine at that individual point in time that might have resulted in that high CPU utilization. And what we can see is that actually this person has installed some software. So again, it's that typical conversation you have. Did you install anything on on your machine? No, of course I didn't. Actually, yes, you did, and we can see it. So what they've installed, it might be a piece of freeware, the OKM player, but what it's also done, it's also installed the Arse.com toolbar as well. And it's a notorious application for slowing down machines and using high CPU. And furthermore, once I've actually identified that that's the potential issue that's causing this, what I can then do is I can then go into here and work out which other devices that might have been impacted by that same problem. And again, so one of the things that NextThink brings to organization is this proactive capability to actually understand where an issue's happened, then to go and look across the rest of the user community to understand where that same scenario has been replicated. And what you can then do, again, is we can use one of those what we call remote actions to then actually go and remove that Arse.com toolbar from any other machines that might have been impacted by that. And so just the way in which NextThink can give you proactive incident management. Okay, we worked out there was an issue with that person's laptop. What we then did, we used the L1 checklist to work out exactly what the issue was. We could have then used one of our remote actions to go and start cleaning up the disk and getting more information. Or alternatively, what we did, we drilled down into the technical part of NextThink, our technical Finder application, and what we've then been able to see exactly what caused the issue and exactly who else might be impacted by that same issue. So that's the first scenario that we wanted to walk you through.